Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
The new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansada.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamit.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhina.
I'm Leo Bryan. Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldon.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Hotline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and More.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the new channel, here to help you see the new you. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo, your host to this wonderful program, the HR Hotline. This is a wonderful day. The sun is up, and I'm a little bit excited because tomorrow, again, I will be on a face-to-face training. You know, before, sometimes you will think, oh my gosh, it's a little bit, but no. I would like to correct myself. It's always exciting when you do training. This is what I do. I started as a teacher, and I'm going back. It's a circle. Life is a journey, and I enjoy what I am doing. Now, last time I dedicated the whole season 6 of HR Hotline to my brother who just recently departed, Jim Anthony. He was a regional director of DSWD, and he was better than me because he can play the piano by ear, widow, and taller and handsomer. But today, I'm going to dedicate the episode to my brother, Johnny. He's also gone. He was the one who died of aneurysm. I both love them. I'm the third in the family, and the youngest is my sister, Dana. It's his birthday today. So if you're a friend of mine in Facebook, my niece, who is now in the States, sent me a video wherein they were all moving. I was just like a child. I was so excited. So I posted it. The wonders of technology. And also today, it's a wonderful day because I was thinking that tomorrow I will be out of the house because I'm going to do a face-to-face. So I was in the garden the whole morning. I'm so happy because of the sun. Flowers are abloom. I'm not a plantito. I'm a plant lolo. I've been planting even before this trend. Maybe it was just like that poem or that story of the queen was it in Babylon? Can you help me? Is my memory serving me right? That is why we have the gardens of Babylon, the hanging gardens of Babylon. Yeah. You know, when I transferred here to Manila, that was way back in 1977. In all the places that I lived, I resided, I plant. Maybe it was my longing for the garden of my Lola in Balintawak Street in Legazpi, or the garden at the back of our house in Pinarik in Legazpi. Which is why maybe I am not actually going with the trend, but I am a plant lolo. Besides my grandfather, mother's side, Juanito Napay is a botanist, a classmate of, what is his name? Romulo, Carlos P. Romulo in UP. So I was one of those grandchildren whom I grew up in a family, especially my lolo, who was actually planting every afternoon, tending the garden. We have which is why I also have here a pool. The pool have goldfish, big pool. It's a wading pool. Then we have, can you hear the chirping of the birds? There was a cage where, what do you call that? A cage where we can come in and all the lovebirds are actually flying all over you. That is the childhood wherein I grew up. So I would like to recreate that. And that is maybe my culture, my DNA. and my breathing. The reason why I'm telling you this, because that is the topic of our consultation today. But first, I would like to greet, good afternoon, June Sally. June Sally is one of the good, not only good, excellent HR consultant, management and HR consultant, and Jensen is a comrade talaga. He's a brother, he's a fellow in people management. Then we have Grace Ralios. Oh, my dear friend Grace Ralios. You know, every time I recall Grace, I recall her as the bubbly lady, so elegant in PIMA. And you know, I am her friend in Facebook, and I can watch her post. So nice. Recently, we had a chat on her paintings, and she paints. If you are interested, PM Grace Ralios, she paints, and of course, you will have to give some donation for the cost of the paintings. You know, my mom paints also, and you know, it's expensive when you pay, especially if it's in oil. But you know, Grace is not only good in painting, also good in writing, just like PP Bong. Ayan. Then we have here, Ophel, my BFF, Ophel Montaliana Orcales. Yes, a woman of substance. And you know what I like with Ophel? Her matching of her shoes and her clothes. Yes. And of course, Hershey Marquez, good afternoon. And yes, Cherise is a member of the PAPS, Philippine Association of Professional Speakers. And she's so charming. She's an HR consultant. Also, she does training. And she's a friend. Very sultry and very, what do you call this? Just like in the, what do you call that? That epic, that one of the siren of Ulysses. If you can hear the voice of Charisse, is one of the mermaids ba yun? in that story, Ulysses. Then we have Beth Nason, one of those ladies that I really admire. If you know, what do you call that? Desiderata. There is what you call people is greater and lesser than you are. And Beth Nasol, I'm very sure, is a person greater than I am. I was still so young, but Beth Nasol is already Beth Nasol with OD. You know, when you are younger in your profession, you would like to emulate, you have idols, and Beth is one of them. Who else are here? So good. So we have, I will just greet, if there will be some people who will come in and join us. I invited my friends to be our consultants, and they will share their insights through the chat box. Now, I have two questions for today. Every Thursday, remember, is what you call the HR consultation day. And on Saturdays, it's actually the HR moments. But I think I'll be absent on Saturday because I'm going to do a face-to-face. Anyways, okay. Yes, Ophel, Desiderata, always a greater person and a lesser person than you are. And I accept that. I accept it. I just hope our best friend, Fremari Kabantag, is also in the room. Anyway, the question is more on OD, which last time our guest was Leonardo Aguinaldo, a very talented HR who is actually very much engaged in the lead com of PIMA. And then actually, the reason why we had that topic, because it is one of those concerns that I got from my students in PIMA also. So it's more on OD. So get ready, my friends. Try to share with me your insights. I will read it and we'll discuss it. It's how do you develop a learning culture in an organization. Actually, it's also my problem because, recently I had 2 webinars wherein it's a little bit sad. The participants are not actually, they of course were listening to me, but their attendance. I'm looking for them on the next day. Some of them are absent because they have some emergencies to do. And I was talking with the HR. It is so difficult for people to enroll because they have this reason, another reason. So it's a problem that was sent to me by an HR somewhere in the South. And also, I can relate. Because, everybody, if you're an HR person, you really would like to do the total functions of talent management, from acquisition down to succession planning. And along the way, the one that actually integrates is the learning and development, your leadership development. But the problem is, most especially now that we are on alternative working arrangements, you can feel it, that there is lack of a learning culture. I'm actually jumping because actually the question is, how will you develop that learning culture? Then the other one will be later on. It's also the culture of agility. So can we have some insights here? Hi, Therese. Enjoy the show. Don't forget to share our live stream. Yes. So how can you share with me your thoughts on how can we really develop learning cultures in our organization? OD is one of those things that it's nice to hear, nice to do, but sincerely speaking, we don't know how to do it, where to start, and what are the interventions that we must do. And now it is surfacing because we can see that people needs to be trained. But now it can be felt that there is a lack of learning and development cultures in organization. From Ophel, building a learning culture starts from the top. Strategy works if the leaders promote learning. Yes, thank you, Ophel. I remember when I was in Inquirer, there was a learning culture because Mom Sandy will really attend and sit down and will really sit down with me and look into the designs of the training. Of course, I was not the one doing it, although Chito was there, Chito San Mateo, but we were one of the first ones to actually top subject matter experts, which is why we got Josiah Go, which is why we got, what do you call this? People now in PMAP, because we're getting Anthony Pangilinan at the time, and we got people from abroad. We even got Maxwell to teach in Inquirer. But that learning, that culture, actually it starts from the top. I agree with you, Ophel. From Beth Nasol, yes, my idol. The learning organization should support the business trust. One, the vision is clear. That is a good point. It is important to identify the capabilities required by the organization, and that's what you call the training needs analysis. Identify the capabilities required by the organization and provide the venue for learning and retrospection. You educate, expose through mentoring and coaching and immersion. Those are the interventions. Thank you, Beth. But the point here, the learning organization should support the thrust. Okay. Then, of course, she mentioned about the vision. The problem there is, if even with the vision, it is not actually properly cascaded and it's not appreciated. By collaborating with your internal marketing, can we spot on Ophel? Direct? By collaborating with your internal marketing or communication team to craft an organization-wide message promoting the organization learning culture. Start with promoting your leader's learning journey via stories. This inspires others to do the same. I think, Ophel, you're right. This is what is missing. You know, we just have people promoted, and then they keep on telling, we celebrate their promotion, but we don't actually discuss how they were able to reach that position. And it's actually a succession planning strategy. So it's tahing-tahi. It's collaborative. Thank you for that, Ophel. Beth, again, strengthen the systems and processes to give way to learning. I agree, Beth. Let's stop there muna. I agree. It's because sometimes there is what you call the desire to really provide learning opportunities, but the systems are not there. You know, sometimes we look, this is not a joke, we look into what will be the food, where is the venue, but not actually if the training that we are going to give is actually apt, relevant. Just like what I know in some government agencies, wherein they just require the number of hours or the units for them to be able to be promoted. So that's it. That's it. There should be a process and a system, and this is actually the job of HR. Okay, after Beth, what is the next one? Find out first what is the need of your organization to create the framework and program. And this is actually what HR misses. You can start with regularly scheduled features of leaders and what they are learning, then move down to managers and then associates. Employees love to see that they are being acknowledged. You can start with regularly scheduled features of leaders. Ophel, how are you going to do this? In town halls, in meetings, or what? How do you present it? Or it can be in newsletters, no? Just to inspire people. Beth here is telling us retrospection is reflecting and evaluating one's learning. This should be done, I think, Beth, on a one-on-one basis, or also on the team. So team on one-on-one basis might be, correct me if I'm wrong, after identifying the potential. There's a difference, the performance and then the potential. Remember the 9 bucks thing? And then retrospection is reflecting and evaluating one's learning. So there should be an intervention, a survey, or something that HR must do, wherein there should be a self-evaluation, self-assessment of individuals. This is very nice, Beth. Charisse, create your goal. Why do you want it to do? What do you want? Can we go back to Charisse, please? Create your goal, why you want to do it. Yes, very similar to what Beth is telling us. Oh, come on, my idol here, Jerry. Can we spot on Jerry? Jerry, a foundation for a learning culture is a culture of candor. My God, Jerry should come back here and be a guest. I like that. What do you mean by culture of candor? If people cannot freely speak up, very little learning can occur. Ay, ang lalim talaga ni Jerry. Oh yeah. Thoughtful disagreement should be encouraged for true learning to occur. Managers must be comfortable with people disagreeing with them. We need to spark of conflict to generate new ideas, new learning. So nanganak. So maybe simultaneously while you are trying to develop, to plant the seed of the learning culture, there should also be that situation. You're also trying to have that culture of candor when there should be what you call free speech. O hindi walang tagging dyan. Wherein you can express. Right. You cannot really be open on what you really want to do, what you need if you are going to do a thing A. If there is no candor, you're open to. One is first, I think Jerry is an acceptance, wherein these are the things that you need. That is what Joris was telling us. These are things that you need, and then they're able to express it to HR or to L&D, the person, so that the L&D person can come up with a design. After Jerry, what was that? Learning structure must have an objective and goal. Yes, a failure can be via town hall collaboration platform, Zoom or Teams. Yes, and Beth here, can we spot on Beth? With the influx of information, the learning should be short and impactful. What is measured is content and impact. I love that. Beth. Gone are the days that you do a lot of classroom setting. Go for more exposure, job experience, and then through the retrospection and evaluation. That is what you call the 70, what do you call that, Beth? 70-30, 80-20, 70-30-10, 70-20-10. Yes, 70-20-10. Yes, more on, you have to do, what do you call this? Blended or a menu of interventions, not only classroom. Because sometimes we can you go back to Beth? Because there is one thing that can we go back to Beth? Learning impact, what is measured is content and impact, right? Content. It's not anymore the number of hours that matters. I hope somebody from government is listening. It's not anymore the number of hours that matters. It's actually learning. Remember, I would like to put it in here. Kirkpatrick's assessment, evaluation for training is actually not actually on the trainers or facilitators, but on the participants themselves, that they must be able to assess if they learned or not. Newsletters too, yes, Ophel. Then we have Mr. June Sally. Learning culture must be aligned with one vision, mission, and goals. Grace Ralius here. Anything in this world follows a template of looking into, analyzing, reinventing, innovating, and creating. I would like to repeat that, Grace Ralius. Analyzing, reinventing, innovating, and creating. And this is what I think what is being missed by those in the L&D now. That portion of analyzing and reinventing. I created for myself and working with others follow this template. Principles, paradigms, practices, and processes. All PISA, for PISA, principles, paradigms, practices, and processes to measure strength, gaps, and opportunities. All must be accountable. HR or OD people, leaders in other disciplines must begin with themselves and walking that talk. I spot on, sinampal tayo ni Miss Grace Ralios. Oo nga, there are times, yung sinabi ni Jerry last time, that the programs are so good, but the practices are not. So you might have copied it or you might have designed it because you learn it from your studies. You are the HR person. You come up with a nice program, but in practice, you're not actually doing it. Spot on. You know, Grace, pareho kayo nung sinabi ni Jerry. Yes, Jerry mentioned it last time. Can we go to Beth here? A foundation of learning culture. Okay, Beth, after Grace. Yes. Going through a mentoring program is another form learning. Learning from others in an effective way to grow and develop knowledge and practice. So those mentoring is an intervention, one of the activities, programs that you can do. But let's go back to how we are going to do learning. How are we going to develop learning culture? Which is actually, it's surfacing now and it's actually a concern. So all of this, we're going to share this later on. All your insights, I hope HR must be able to read all your insights in the chat box. And then, but last time on this, before we go to a break, saan talaga mag-umpisa? May nagsabi kanina, it's actually the bosses. Diba? The bosses, the leaders. Sabi ni Ophel kanina. Then I agree kay Ma'am Sunny. And also the TNA, according to Beth. And of course, the processes. And then Grace is telling us, you look into that. You look into that. Pero if we're really actually in a situation now wherein people are not so really keen because they're just like, who's that? Mary or Martha? They're more on doing what they're supposed to do rather on learning. So, para bang they don't really allot time of what they're doing because they're so much full of themselves, full on their work. So how can we really start as an HR person? One maybe is actually asking your boss to really be with you in that journey. Okay? Oh, but is here. Oh, all my friends are here. Okay. Oh, but kanina pa kami nag-uusap dito ni na Jerry, ni na Beth, ni na Ophel. Okay, PP Obet is a dear friend of mine. So, ano kaya ang advice natin doon sa HR? Kung ganon ang nakikita niya. Ang nakikita niya is you ask them to be there, they attend, but they leave. And I'm very sure it's not me because the reason is that, sir, kasi may emergency and then gusto ko sana mag-attend or yung enrollment, ano kaya ang dapat gawin? Kasi actually that is the concern. Can we spot on what Jerry contributed there? The 70% is learning from experience, especially learning from experience. A mentor can help someone process one's experience. Learning culture is encouraged if mistakes are used as a vehicle for learning, especially when trying new things. Right. You're very correct, Jerry. Learning culture is encouraged if mistakes are used as a vehicle. Parang this is what we call, Jerry, the business case. Yung parang you really come up with a business case and then emphasize on it and really present it to management that this is what is happening and this is the case. No? But of course, you're going back to Grace Ralios, the HR person must actually be the one manifesting it. Worst is if the HR person is also just after parang makaraos, parang makatapos, parang it's just part of my care or goal, objectives for the year. Pero hindi naman talaga tiningnan yung what is actually the need of the organization. Okay. Now, let us veer away before we go to a break. Sa tingin mo, what, sinabi kasi ni Jerry, failures, what is actually the need that you know that an HR person can build on as a business case? Anong mga need? Can anybody share? Can you spot on Grace? Jesse, you're right, and our colleagues. Yet no naman sinampa. Si Janine just nicely. It's a gentle reminder to ourselves. Of course, ganun ako. Ito naman, si kapatid, ganun naman talaga ako. And CEOs as well. Learning begins when all admit humbly that we don't know everything. And there are things we must be open to learn and admit mistakes. And that is actually the business case. That it's okay to not know something and be thought even by the dull and the ignorant. Oh, I love it. Oh, Grace, you can even have it as a poem. Yes. Pero, Ma'am Grace, may oras, the organization claims that they know it. Which is why, yun nga, how can we really look at what is actual, how can we corrupt? What is the intervention? What is the entry point for this? We greatly appreciate. Okay, yes, Ophel. We via strategic planning review. Yes, and I think this is actually the time. What we are? It's already March, but I think some are still on what we call strategic planning. Via strategic planning, revisit the company's values, and if learning culture is so strongly advocated to add it in the values. I agree, Ophel. I agree. And I think that is what is being missed. That is actually my point. That's actually my point. I once worked with an organization where learning is a core value. Oo nga. In Inquirer, learning is value. It's part of the competencies. Part of the competencies. Just now, because we were actually, I am using the past tense. We were in the, what do you call this, in an industry wherein you really need to develop and be innovative and be creative. So we included learning. It was Mercer who was with me in doing that. Just one in terms of championing what is already built into the values and expected for everyone, from leaders to the rest of the organization. So I think for those small and medium enterprises, organizations, HR, one thing that I am getting from our consultants here, from our seasoned HR, is for you really to work on with your leadership. Actually be an influencer, influence your bosses that there is a need for learning. And again, I was asking it, but it was already mentioned by Jerry, that you have to build a case. And of course, make sure that you have that candor to open it up. The worst is you don't have the courage to really tell it. To tell them that nahihiya ka that you will hurt a department. You don't have the courage to tell them, sir, your accounting department, they're not really talking with each other. You are so afraid because if you mention it, it may create an intriga. Or you are afraid to tell them that, sir, 3 of our managers are actually remiss or lacking in their leadership competencies. So I agree with Cherry. And then I agree with all Cherise, Ophel, and Beth. Come up with really an honest to goodness needs analysis. You have to FGD, not only a survey. There are times that I do webinars and I usually ask them, so let's do a TNA. And you know what the HR will just tell me, these are the problems that we have. From whom? From what source? So I think that it's very stuck. That is what Beth was telling us about processes, and Grace also. Processes. Okay. Now, there is another way of, where will I start? Will I start with Ophel? It worked because it's part of everyone's responsibility. And Cherise, learning should have sustainability and find out how we can apply it in our everyday, what do our measurements can build. Cherise, you're correct. There are times when I ask them, have you had wave, simple wave, or have you had team building? And the answer, nag-team building na kami, Sir Jess. When? In 2016. Ay, nag-wave na kami, Sir Jess. Kailan? In 2015. So sustainability is just like in the Catholic Church that the gospel comes in every 3 years. And then every day what we're measuring that we can build. And Jerry here, another way of creating learning culture is to include learning goals into the KPIs. I agree. I think that is what we did in Inquirer before. Nakasama doon sa learning objectives at yung KPI. Kahit na nga, Jerry, for managers, included yung, what do you call that? Internal audit, yung pre-audit. We made that 3%, 5%. And learning, I think, I can still remember it's 10%. Para bang, it is included in our KPI that we were able to actually inspire, coach, enroll our people. Actually, it's a KPI of managers. I agree, Jerry. I agree. So yun, na-hit na natin. Kaya nga, di ba? So the HR department of this, the one that I'm doing now, nag-enroll. And then, of course, the supervisors are there. But, their managers are the one insisting, can you absent yourself because there is something that we need to do? Ang sabi ko doon, this is not a life-threatening experience that you really have to give up your training day for something that wala na bang ibang and then sabi ko, delegation, problem of replacement. Anyway, so, yes. And Cherise, most of the time, may program pero walang follow through. That is true. I do emotional intelligence, and that is just a webinar for for awareness. Then I'm telling them that there should be a follow-through, work-life integration, soft skill competency building, and of course, and there is no follow-through. Wala na kaming budget. Yan. Beth here, Beth not all. Now we encourage our employees to be accountable for chartering their destiny in the organization. He has to voice out his aspiration given the goals of the company. If he wants to grow and contribute to the organization, the employee has to take responsibility. Yun na nga eh. If he won't, then he loses the opportunity. The company will only provide an environment conducive to his development, but it has to take of his career. Beth, I can see this in the millennials and the millennials. But of course, somebody should inspire them and trigger them. There should be a system, there should be a venue wherein they can really voice out and put in on what are their aspirations or your career path. Ang mahirap nito, na nakikita ko, yung mga ex and then traditional, including me, sometimes yun ang nami-miss. Yung para bang takot mag-claim na may kulang ako. Takot magsabi. Yun nga sinabi ni Jerry ng candor eh. Yung talagang para bang, isa na lang to. Yung up to now, mahina pa talaga magsulat. So pinapag-take ng business writing. Pero actually, hindi naman yung pagsulat ang ano dun eh. Ang problema. So, Jerry, if you want to improve performance, learning goals must be set. It should not be a side dish. Make it a main menu. I love it. Jerry, this is a quotable quote. If you want to improve performance, learning goals must be set. It should not be side dish. Make it the main menu. Nako, Jerry, dapat magsalita ka ulit sa PMAP on this lang. Yes, to the leaders, employee spotlight. Can we spot on Jennifer? Yes, to leader employees spotlight. Yes. And then Ophel, agree classmate Jerry. Uy, magka-classmate pala si Jerry at si Ophel. That's what happened to my previous organization. Everyone is held accountable for how they are going to take charge of their learning. And for managers, how they are developing their members. Yun na nga. I think this is, thank you very much. This is actually the answer to that concern. Because sometimes it is not owned by the leadership that there should be learning. Di ba may kasabihan, di ba? If you don't train them, just imagine if you don't leave, then we have people that are not really trained. I have that. Right now, I have that. Di ba? I have dogs here beside me. I have some dogs who are trained and dogs who are not trained. And you can see the difference. Di ba? You let them, because his family, you did not train that dog, so up to now, you will suffer the consequences. And lastly, Jennifer. It was fun, when you're talking with friends, you forget to read what is actually the post of your director, that there should be a break. Now, direct, sorry for that. Can we have that poster of the shows in TNC so that we can invite all our guests and our viewers to please watch all our live stream shows, U-Turn, TNC, The Talk Awesome Day, and The Home Buyer. Laugh and learn from the puppet stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Notable personalities and their stories on the big picture, Mondays to Fridays at 7 p.m. Listen to this generation, the millennial voice, Mondays at 8:30. Learn together across foreign affairs on Tuesdays, and human resource management, and that is my show. The journey continues moving on business on Tuesdays and Fridays. Well home brings a well life. Never too late for a mental shift on Thursdays at 7:30 USA, Money and More on Tuesdays, and also check on Cyber NXT. Okay, health is wealth. Coping and coupling couple goals. Strategize through win within. And a market leader. You're right, YOLO on Thursday. Madiskarting buhay ang negosyo at home and tech you. Then, of course, the marketplace, Danny Art Show, One Day TNC Arena. More coming up shows for TNC. Direct, can we also show some posters that we have? I'm inviting everybody to join us in PMAP General Membership Meeting. That will be next week. We are going to celebrate the Women's Month, and it's a tradition in PMAP. It's on March 24 from 1 to 3 p.m. Okay, then we also have that one, the one that we had last time. Let us invite them. If you can have we still have the posters. Anyway, so let's go back. Can we spot on Jennifer Nuya? Love the vulnerability. PPJC, acknowledging our weaknesses is the first step to addressing them. Sadly, this is not the norm in most organizations. That is what I mentioned, Jennifer. Then also from Grace Ralios, can we spot on Grace? Learning becomes a practice when we in HR put on the spotlight on employer role models of learnings and growth outside and inside the company instead of ourselves. Ay, Grace, tama ka na naman. There are times na yung HR lang yung nag-attend ng conferences, nag-attend ng mga... ang tali-talino ng HR. Pero yung kanyang human resource ay hindi na talaga nagtatalino. We forget sometimes that when we, HR people, leaders, and CEOs stop preaching and do more coaching, empowering their employees in diversity, practice makes learning alive and immortal in our lives. Yeah, that is the legacy. When I ask my colleagues in Inquirer, when they ask me, sir, I miss you. Ano talaga? What is actually what you miss from me? Sir Jess, your tidbits of salita, may napupulot kami. Some are sarcastic, some are for fun, but we learn something when we discuss from you, and we miss it. Siguro I got it from Grace. Okay. As quick as we can, mga 5 minutes kasi we have another question here. How do we develop agility culture? Jerry, Beth, help me here. Even myself, I can also relate. Diba? The organization tells us that they are agile. They are doing what you call agility. They attended all the webinars on agility. But when it comes to payment, parang gobyerno, 1 month talaga naghintay ka ng bayad sa'yo. Processes, ang tagal-tagal. So, paano kaya? Anybody here? Yes. Yeah. Can we spot on Beth? Kasi please invite them on Saturday from 10 to 11:30. Date is the new oil. That is what I'm asking, Beth. We have that. We have that poster. Yes, here. Yeah, good. Yeah. Data is the new oil with Joy Calieja. Yes. of Ateneo Cord. She will talk about understanding HR data analytics. I will attend, Beth. You know why? Yun nga. Nag-attend ng data analytics, wala naman data. HR IS niya, binili before 2016, so walang analytics. But you know, we have to. We really have to. For us to really be having that competency for the future, mag-umpisa tayo muna, data is the new oil. How we are going to use the data that we have lots of surveys, we have lots of data in the office, but sometimes it is just there. We don't even collate them for easy reference. June Sally, if you are here, still here, please share this with your chapter in Janssen. The data is a new one. So can we continue? Just a few insights on how can we develop agility. Because that is actually one of the new, what do you call this? Values, culture, it's trending. Everybody would like to be agile, but if you look at it, they're still actually practicing what is in the past. They're still very much doing the processes, the regulation, the practices are not actually abreast with the thought of they have to be agile. Ang tanong dito, how can you really start that mindset? That agility mindset. Again, we have to start with the leaders. Jerry, can you spot on Jerry? Kasi after this, we go. Build an, hindi ko ito mabasa, Jerry, ambidextrous or ambidextrous organization. What do you mean by that? It is one that capitalizes on the strength of both a hierarchy and a network organization. Jerry, I really love you. Huh? The definition is one that capitalizes on the strength of both the hierarchy, that is and the network organization. A network organization promotes self-managing teams without the supervision of traditional bosses. So in short, Jerry, empowered. Yun munang hierarchy, siguro matrices na. You don't really have to follow na, this has to be approved by the 3 levels of approval. Diba? Or yung from one particular, it's just a 10,000 release of funds you need. Say, it's so bureaucratic. Can we spot on Jerry first muna? Kasi maganda yung sinabi ni Jerry. Yeah, this one that capitalizes on the strength of both hierarchy. But you know, Jerry, it needs a lot of muna siguro discernment if they can really do it. And the network organization, diba? Siguro talaga, if they really would like it, they really have to call you and then practice this. A network organization promotes self-managing teams. Everybody would like to have that. Pero ang tanong ko, how are you going to start making them, what do you call it, confident, courageous, to really be, siguro mag-umpisa, Jerry, dun sa delegation talaga. That simple delegation that they're given the authority that they are comfortable doing it. Beth, not so. Agile is being, can we spot on Miss Beth? Nako, I'm so glad I have here our idols. Agile is being more customer-focused. Oh nga. It is aiming for good customer experience. In HR, we need to look for a better ways of doing things like shortening a process on benefits process. It's always challenging the status quo. Right. Spot on. Para bang, you cannot really go back to what we were doing before COVID. So now that there is the pandemic and we're moving to the now normal, the new normal, let us try to review and look into it from acquisition down to, even benefits. You know, I have this beta. This is a story. One living this out. Si June Sally can relate. For Muslim, they bury their dead a day after. Just imagine if your process is just 1 week ang pag-utang. Louis G. Santos, Jesse yan. Agile is focusing on continuous improvement. Yes. Okay. Okay. Then we have Grace. Agility is courage to flex outside of our armchairs or intellectual bubble, limiting beliefs and championing others from the stuff to courage in catalyzing change with calculated risk management. Be prepared happily to opposition, objections, ridicule, and even humbly losing a position in an argument or gracefully losing a job. But that is, Ma'am Grace, agility is actually not only the in thing, it's actually, we must do it. Because everybody's actually on it. But because of technology, because of the new mindset, the new paradigms, that maybe it's because of the what do you call that? Yung Jollibee, yung mga quick. Itong mga food that when it's there, you want it right away. It's there in 5 minutes. You get your food. So everything has to be fast and quick, and it has to be agile. But of course, agility is a mindset. Agility is actually a way of doing things. Okay, I wonder, say Jennifer Nuya, I wonder if we have such organization in the Philippines. Let's ask Jerry. If you have one. I think so. The big multinational, I think so. I was listening to JP Orbeta of Ayala and to Mr. Nick Lim of Gokongwei. And if you can read between the lines, I think what Jerry was mentioning it's happening. It's happening, Jennifer. Beth. Yes, Agile uses several tools. One need to learn the Agile process. Problems can be converted into projects. Wow. We're getting it from the authority herself. Many tools, but you have to learn the Agile process. Teams are now called squads. Presentations are now called sprints. And evaluations are called retrospection. Yes. And it is not actually, it's a new term. No. Because if it is a specific term, you have to look into it and then assess it, and that is good. Say from teams into squads, there's a lot of things. I can appreciate it. Beth. Iba yung teams, iba yung squads. And you say you have presentations, lengthy presentation, and then when you call it sprints, iba rin ang ang paradigm mo yan, ang mindset mo yan. And if you can call evaluation, na parang retrospection, naku Jennifer, siguro ito ang kailangan natin sa pops at cherries. Diba? Kasi sometimes we are so, what do you call this, sensitive, and so dun sa mga evaluation, siguro kailangan is retrospection. And I think, Beth, correct me if I'm wrong, retrospection is more on the individual. So the one who is assessing, I think it's just a 5% reminder from the assessor, but the retrospection, because retrospection is more inward. Correct me, Beth. Then Jerry here, agility is focusing on planning rather than fixated on the plan. Uy, Jerry, tinuturo ko rin yan, nasasabi ko rin yan. Pero no, it is not actually being practiced. Kasi sometimes we are in the strategic planning. What we actually do is come up with all those templates, answer all those questions, and come up with good presentations. So, para bang the output, the result is the plan, pero nakalimutan yung planning. Oo nga, the process of planning. Ang mahirap, Jerry, cannot and paste. Okay, we still have time. Okay, we are now in the last segment. I would like to read what June Sally posted here. Agility needs to be embraced by the organization to make it work. Yes. And then from Betnason, agree not to focus on the failures, instead focus on what one has learned from the failure. And from Mitch Guzzi, whoa, you're here. Tricky to be focused but not fixated. Yes, Mitch. Mitch, please always join us here. And then from Grace Ralios, yes, can you spot on Grace before we go to the last question? Maybe we can look at retrospection to be 360 degrees, not just one person. Everything happens at sum total of the leadership and employee performance from top to bottom. Okay, one last for all my friends here. I would like to thank you that you are here, and join me again next Thursday next week. But one last question, and I would like you to put your insights and your comments. What to do? Because this is actually something that was called yesterday to me to be discussed here. What to do? My key people are leaving. Yun lang. And this is coming from the managing director of an international forwarding organization. She cannot understand. We are in a pandemic. Her key people are leaving. So what to do? My key people are leaving. Can we put your insights and then we'll leave it there? So Mitch, Jerry, Beth, Ophel, Charisse, Jennifer, Warrior, June. Can you put your insights na what to do? My key people are leaving. Yun lang ang sinabi niya sa akin. Bakit kaya? What to do? What to do na? Mataas naman ang sweldo. Mataas ang sweldo kasi they are a forwarding organization. But they are leaving. Sabi ko nga baka sa pandemic, pero that should not be the case. It should not be the case. Ano kaya? Just a thought. What to do if your key people are leaving now and it's a pandemic and you know parang bakit kaya? Kailangan ng trabaho, bakit sila umaalis? Ano kaya ang kulang? Like, can we go spot on Jennifer? Just 5 minutes. Use the info from exit interviews to identify the root cause of resignation. Yeah. Dapat siguro mag-umpisa yung managing director to really do. Ang mahirap nito is if the poor HR person is the one doing it, tapos baka ma-filter yung info to the managing director. But it's the managing director is the one actually estudyante ko siya sa ICO. So close kami, tumawag sa akin. So right, Jenny. And then we have Ophel. Key people leaving. First, ask those who are leaving the reason why they're leaving. That's the biggest starting point. Yeah. Nasabi ko naman yan eh. Sabi ko, you have to know why. Ang nakikita ko rito, maybe it's part of the pandemic. May mga opportunities ngayon, mind you. There are a lot of opportunities wherein organization must be careful how you're going to treat your people, because there are other opportunities that people are really capable and competent may be attracted to venture in. Or in other words, lumipat. Marami. So, assess the situation and once established, make an intervention. Yun nga eh. Baka there is something wrong. Ang alam ko, they are all in one area kasi nasa Makati. Hindi, in-house niya eh. Siguro sa gabi, nagkikwentuhan ito, alam mo naman ang tao nai-influenced. Para bang they got a dormitory for all the people there. So, yun nga, nagasto sila. Jerry, check on the quality of your leadership. I think, tama, Jerry. Leadership was put to test by the pandemic. Very good talaga, Jerry. You're greater than myself. Leadership was really put to test by the pandemic. Did leaders respond well to the pandemic? Diba? Malay mo, pero nagpadala lang ng ayuda, wala na. Diba? People need a little help, a little care. Were they able to respond to the needs of people in the pandemic? I think so. Kasi nagsasurface ngayon na pandemic eh. Yung para bang, sabihin mo, nagkayuna naman ako, nag-take ka naman ko, but there is an ingredient that is something missing. Why they live? Para bang nawawala niya, para bang, mayroon naman kaming family culture. But why are they living? Diba? So yeah, leadership should be look into. Then conduct an organization-wide employee climate survey to ensure that this problem is not limited to your key people. Based on the results of the survey, create corrective measures to avoid additional attrition. Ang mahirap nito, Jennifer, kasi I know this, getting it from my students, they just cut and paste, copy and copy the traditional surveys that they do year in and year out, and that's the employees, of course, they already have that ready answers. So siguro itong mag-pandemic, we really have to review and change the questions. Beth Nason. Yes, maybe, can we spot on Beth, please? Maybe he needs to talk to them on why they are leaving, what is driving them to have a change of heart. To sustain an engagement of the employee, regular check-ins and conversation happens between the superior and the employee. More so during this pandemic. Employees need to be heard and understand. This is what you call personalization. Personalization. The conversation needs to be always about work. The leaders need to understand the personal situation of the employee. Yes, I agree, Beth. You know, sometimes yung dating yung face-to-face, the moment of truth is always about work. Yung interaction is always about work. Nag-iba yung sitwasyon. Kaya maybe siguro, there is that ingredient that is missing. Okay, can we read what Mitch is posting here? Yes. That's heartbreaking for any leader who has invested heart and soul on developing people. You're right, Mitch. Have gone through that. But then, if leaders built right, then expect your people to become leaders in other organizations too. Oh, right. Diba? Why hoard them if they really would like to look into some greener pastures and then let them go? Let it be. Which means you have multiplied yourself. What I did was I left when I thought my key people were ready, so they have space above them. Oh, this is another side. Very nice, very nice. We are so balanced here. Okay, great thought, Mitch. Yes. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's already 1:10, but I'm still waiting. We can still have so that's it. Building cultures and trying to look into how we're going to keep. I think, Jerry, this is what you call yung retention program. But that retention program, that has to be really yung, ayan, masasabihin naman yan ni Ma'am Grace sa atin, you have to really look into it. Na hindi lang na nagkaroon ka na parang it is a quick fix. Hindi. Yes. Yes. So yeah. I'm reading Ophel, and Jennifer was actually appreciating what Mitch did. Yes. I have that. I get it. I think it's about this, wherein they have this program, wherein if people would like to go, they let them go. And then I knew about it because they have this program wherein they again accept them when they would like to come back. Yung balik about this program. And they like it because they are already bringing the experience that they have. Nice mindset. Okay, so there goes, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank June, Sally, Mitch, Gutsi, Beth, Lasol, Ophel, and then Jerry and Jennifer and Cherise and everybody. Sorry if I missed your name. Thank you very much. See you again on Thursday. I will be absent on Saturday, but Tuesday, I have a guest. Then on Thursday, let's do this conversation again. So, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful. It's nice this is the new normal. You converse with your friends through the chat box. And this is a live stream, and this will be shared later on. And then the insights that are here are really what you call priceless. The one that we got from my friends, Season HR, are actually coming from their experience. And we need that. We need somebody to actually mentor us. Up to now, I am seeking mentorship from people I know who can share with me their expertise. And we need that. And we need that. I would like to end again with the culture that we must build. And it is actually a challenge for all of us. Even at home, here at home, or in organization. And the pandemic is actually making us realize that we missed some things that we must have done before, which is why the culture is a little bit questionable. So it's time to catch up. It's time to really hone, build, develop, grow a positive culture in an organization. What we just discussed is actually learning and agility. I think we will have to go back into culture building next week. What I'm thinking here is discipline and excellence. And Jerry, Beth, Ophel, and everybody, in one way or another, we are helping our HR colleagues in how they are going to implement wonderful, positive cultures in their organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jesse Francis Rebustillo. Salamat po. Diyos mabalos.